Hi, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I'm taking a look at Transformers Generations Age of the Primes Fugitive Waspinator. And here is Waspinator. He is a pretty little redeco and slight remold of animated Bumblebee from Legacy United. I think I'm a little biased because I love the color green and I love the Wasp character. I'm surprised. I guess Waspinator is trademarkable, whereas Wasp is not. For some reason, I thought in animated he was called Wasp when he was in this mode. But yeah, we have this teeny tiny little hatchback. I mean, it is dense, as we've seen before in Bumblebee, but it is a small little deluxe. And I think it's just adorable. It really captures the animated aesthetic. We've got these little purple and silver painted rocket pieces with the stinkers attached. I think those are really cute. You can attach them up here. You could turn them around and turn them into weapons up front, which I like that. You've got a couple ports on either side. And I do feel like these ports do kind of blend in with the vehicle mode's design pretty well. I'm pretty happy about that. We have some lovely paint. I love that the tires are painted. I love that the headlights are painted. We've got some black details painted, on the grille. We've got a racing stripe painted up top. The red light on top of the racing stripe is painted. We have a Decepticon symbol, and I think this isn't 100% accurate to how he was in the show. I think he had like a more generic symbol on him, but that is there. I think the only minorest of complaints I have is the fact that we have a little bit of green mismatch here with some plastic, but that's okay. I was surprised looking at this. I was worried that, he and Bumblebee would have clearance issues, but they absolutely do not. You can zoom in them around just fine. Just as a reminder for how small these guys really are, like if we're talking about, a standard deluxe, this is an itty bitty figure. And I know people are complaining about this and then Studio Series 86 Bumblebee for the size you're getting when you're paying $25. And I think that's totally valid. But for me, it's worth it. I think the engineering and things that we've seen on these toys do make it absolutely worth it. We've got some 5mm ports back here if you want to stick anything on his back, but that applies more in robot mode. So you can take apart the rocket and the stinger on both ends here. And we've seen this before, but it is a very fast transformation, so I don't think I'm going to worry about fast forwarding. We can bring up the back end. We can come in here and we're going to disconnect our forearms like so on either side. With the back end separated, that lets us bring out our shoulders a little bit. We can go ahead and do the rest of the arm transformation. We're going to flip out the hand, close that up, flip out the hand, close that up. Now up top, we have the windshield that tabs into the front of the car right here. We can separate that out, and we're going to bring this whole assembly down. That gives him a little bit of size. Then we can split out the front hood of the car, the front of the car. And on the legs, all we're going to do is open up a flap, flip this piece around, and then on the back end, we're going to bring down his foot, close it up, flip out the heel, if we can get a nail in there, like so. Same thing on this side. Open up that flap, flip the whole thing around, bring down the heel, flip out this piece. If you hear coughing in the background, Hannah, unfortunately, got COVID. We think we got it at her grandmother's funeral. I am not showing symptoms. I am getting tested today. We're wearing masks and stuff. Flip out this knee piece. Trying to be as careful as we can. Come on, there we go. But yeah, we didn't wear masks at the funeral, and some idiot, I think, came in with symptoms. Bring down the shoulders. We're going to bring down our front of the windshield, which turns into our robot mode chest. And there is a tab right here that connects right here. If we get that tabbed in and then bring up the neck platform. And here is Wasp or Fugitive Waspinator. Bring that back to get that backpack all nice and neat. And again, This is not engaging the way, maybe I had it too. Ah, there we go. Okay, that's a much more solid connection. I just was missing it a little bit. Fugitive Waspinator looks fantastic. I already like the design. I like how it is evocative of Bumblebee's past, while being its own new thing in animated. If we want context, they've done a bunch of small bees at this point. You know what? I've got a gold bug right here too. So we've got all these, like, you know, in terms of mini bot sized toys. Now, obviously, that one's a little bigger than the others, but fits right in there with Bumblebee and Goldbug while being its own unique aesthetic, which I really, really appreciate. It's also just, I love these colors. This dark green looks so good. I love the stripe, the black through it. That's a nice little bit of contrast. And then we get these bright green plastics, and that looks awesome. And this head sculpt looks awesome. I really, really like that. I love how they did the black accent around the paint to grab his like mask. It's very Waspinator. It looks fantastic. Again, very, very nicely articulated. You can get them looking up really high, which is important because if you want to use these rockets as like a jetpack, you can absolutely do that and then have him flying forward. You know, that works out just fine. He can go 360 almost on the shoulders. There is obviously this locking point. I don't know, what is that? I guess that's 270. That's not almost 360. That's just 270 degrees. I just can't do math, which is unfortunate. He can go up that high. Again, a little limited. If you bring the arm down, you can get a little further. You can go swivel on the bicep. You do have wrist swivel, which I appreciate. Waist swivel, can do the splits. You know, kick that high, kick back just fine. Deeper than 90-degree knee bend, which is, I think, important in dynamic poses. And then he does have ankle tilt. The arm articulation is probably my biggest complaint about the figure. I think it feels tight. The transformation is fun. It looks good. But the arm articulation does limit what we can do about his posability a little bit. Now, he does have some other play patterns. You can take these pieces, hold them in his hands like guns, and just like before, we can take our stinger pieces, you know, turn these into little blasters. You also, if we take that off and put this back on his back, he can do his move from animated where we take out and flip around the arms on either side so that we have these 3mm ports up front. And then we can stick in our stingers. And connect things together here. So you can get kind of that action, which I do think looks pretty cool. It's a nice little play feature. Again, the animated Bumblebee mold was a solid, if small, deluxe, and Waspinator just does it in cooler colors with a cooler head sculpt. If you have a mix of Legacy United animated figures as well as the original animated figures, I think, you know, the aesthetic really bleeds across pretty well. They blend together. He feels at home as part of this collection rather than, you know, sticking out for one reason or another like some of the Prime Legacy United figures did. But I think it's great. I think it's a really neat toy. I'm going to keep it. I'm super happy that we got this guy. It's a cool nod because we were supposed to get Waspinator or Fugitive Waspinator back in the original animated line, and I think it never came out in the States. I don't know if it came out anywhere else. But it's cool that we have him now. I'm really happy that he's in my collection. And again, if you get over the size, I think there's worse ways to spend $25. I think it is a recommend. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye!